Coming to you live from Tennessee, from the east to the west. We are talking Cowboys everything. And you've just entered
the Cowboy Zone.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cowboy Zone for Victory Wednesday. I'm your host, Marcus Jones, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee.
And this is Lambo from Cowboys, y'all, out of Johnson City, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. And again, thank you guys for joining us tonight. See, we got people coming in pretty fast, considering there are 4 other Cowboy podcasts going on right now. We thank all you guys who are tuning in with us. And William Coulter, thank you for joining. We also appreciate you coming to support me last night on George Teague's podcast. And congratulations on winning I believe it was the Super Bowl ring for, was it Troy Aikman Super Bowl ring? Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, William. But whatever it is, you should be getting it soon, and congratulations on that.
Yeah, I see he changed his profile pic to a Super Bowl ring, it looks like.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess that's it then. Yeah.
What's up, Dennis?
Last night on George Teague's podcast, the guy who owns the Cowboy House gave away a Super Bowl ring.
Chris guy?
Yeah, Chris. And actually, I won it technically. But because I was a guest on the show, I was like, you know what? We'll let somebody else get it. And William Coulter was the next person to come in with the right answer. So he went away with the ring.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually a little jealous of that now that I've seen it. So I may have to call up Chris and try to get one for myself.
Rogers, this Roger?
Yeah.
Look how dirty it is from me working in a factory wearing it. I shouldn't have wore it to work. This is the one Drew Pearson gave me after being on the show on ABC. But I've been wearing it to work, and now it's dirty.
Yeah, thank you, Mendoza, for joining us. Dennis Rivera, appreciate you tuning in. And also Craig Coles, thank you for joining. And don't worry, we will talk about CeeDee Lamb before the show is over, because the first segment of the show, because this is a game, a Victory Wednesday, the first segment is a recap of last week's game against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Game recap.
All right, and to start off that game recap, we got to talk about this great game that they played last week. Our third win in a row. Team is really rolling. They really clicked on all cylinders this week. And I guess, Lambo, just start us off. Just a couple of things that really stood out to you in this game, this past week's game.
I like the adjustments they made.
Yes.
To contain Hurts. That was good, because the way it started, I was like, oh, this is going to be a long day.
I almost turned the game off. I'm being dead serious. When it was 14-3.
I was like, this is headed down a bad path. But then they made the adjustments. They started containing Hurts. And then once you seen that, you saw that Hurts can't beat you in the pocket. Mm-hmm. So that really changed the game right there. Those adjustments, yeah. That was big. Another thing was Zeke came out there looking like he wants to hold on to his job. Mm-hmm. Zeke was running hard, actually harder than I think I've seen him run all season personally. Me too. Like. I know, like, a lot of people were like, oh, see, that's Zeke. See, I'm like, well, I haven't seen that Zeke all season, but that was the Zeke I like. Like, I mean, he just looked like he was giving every little bit of effort as if he hadn't even got his contract yet. I don't know. He looked like, I don't know, man. Maybe it lit a fire under him when Pollard came out there with the start and had a big game, a couple touchdowns. I don't know, but Zeke looked great. Who else? Diggs got another interception, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I think Diggs.
He has 3 interceptions on the year, all of them against the Eagles.
And I believe I might be off by a couple, but I know he has about 3 times as many pass deflections as anybody else on the team as well.
I
I
think
think
you're
it's
right
like
on that.
12 or 13 or something like that. And the next closest person has 5 and then 3 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Lambo, you got to talk about the receivers because Craig Coles asked for it. So I know you're
yeah.
big on CD because you're a number 88 legacy guy. So
Yeah.
talk about we could talk about Gallup, but talk about CD. And I believe he's what 12 yards away from the rookie record, if I'm not mistaken.
He needs 108 yards to get 1,000.
Yeah.
And the rookie record by Bullet Bob Hayes, I believe, is 1,003 yards. So he
Uh-huh.
needs a 111 to tie it. 112. He needs 112 to break the rookie Cowboys receiving record.
Is that in this week's game, or is that
This
including
game.
last week's?
That's for
Oh,
this game. Yeah, so he needs 112 this game to break that.
well, this is definitely the game to do it in.
And I think he'll do it. I think he's gonna have a good game, and I think he'll do it. But
So
yeah,
yeah,
it was crazy. I think CD had 2 touchdowns. Gallup had 2 touchdowns,
mhm.
and Amari just had like 4 catches for like $121 or something. Like, man, what a great game just all around. Andy threw for I believe 377. What's up, Cole?
Yeah, I mean, the comments are coming in so fast I can barely keep up with them. Beard Gang, Brian, thank you for joining us. I think I said Dennis Rivera already. Cole, like Lambo said, thank you for joining. And if you
And
guys caught us on the pregame show with George Teague, I kind of said I felt like it would be Gallup because it was Gallup the week before. And also pay attention to whoever Andy Dalton finds first, because whoever he finds first, he's going to keep going back to the well until it runs dry. So Michael Gallup had the game of all games. And
yeah,
then just adding on to that, what you guys have talked about, some of those adjustments, Lambo, offensively, best game I've seen called all year. And the reason for that, we didn't see any cute plays. We didn't see any trick plays. We played pure schematic football.
yeah.
You find the weakness of that team and you exploit it until they change it. And the
And Dalton
weakness
did
was
just that.
with Jaquette, that guy. Yeah, they put him on Michael Gallup and they threw it at him nonstop.
Yeah, Andy just kept, like you said, he keeps going back
Yeah.
until the well runs dry. So, like, yeah, Cole, MG13 went Thursday, Friday off.
So then they got sick of that and they put him on Cooper and they started playing Slay in the slot. And then Cooper breaks for a big play. Almost the next play was when Cooper got his big play. So then you see him go to the slot and try to cover CeeDee Lamb, and that's when CeeDee Lamb goes off for his 2 big plays. So
Yeah.
so great play calling by the offense. And then finally, you see Fletcher Cox go out, and you start to get the ground and pound going.
That was also huge because I believe Fletcher Cox played all the way up until it was 14-3. He was, and that's when he went out.
Yep.
And then the game completely changed from that point. We talked about how big of a deal it would be if he missed time or missed the game.
Yeah. And William Coulter talks about the CD touchdown. Rick, they got to score. Ricky's got to score. And Jeff, thank you for joining us. I said you came in. And I want to talk about this other defensive adjustment. And Craig Coles, you've been on it lately today. Randy Gregory should be starting. Another genius play call by the defense. So one, everybody knows the CJ Goodwin thing because it was just obvious. He never plays, and they kept bringing him in on third down to spy. Another thing I noticed on the defensive line, they pretty much said, you know what, D-Law and D tackles, don't rush the quarterback. I want you to fire off the ball and contain.
Yeah.
We got one dog, and we're going to let him hunt. And that was Randy Gregory. They gave him the green light to just go after the quarterback, and the other 3 guys just stayed and contained. And it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was perfect. I would have liked to have seen us do that with Lamar and Kyler.
Yeah. Me too. They're still not playing Gregory as much as I think they should, but it's good to see him come out there and produce 3 forced fumbles, 1.5 sacks,
Yeah.
I believe 6 tackles.
He's looking great. Meanwhile, Alden is looking like he hasn't played in 5 years.
Yeah,
He's tired.
playing well. He's playing well too. Yeah, I'm just going through the comments trying to catch up because while you were talking, it was just a bunch of great comments being made. And William Coulter asked about the horrible play calling by the Eagles. Why did they stop running the ball after the first quarter? Um, in my opinion, you look at what they were doing in the first quarter. They had the deep bomb to Deshaun Jackson, and then they had another couple of big plays in the passing game. They were just like, you know what? It's working. Let's not go away from it. They were really trying to do what we should do to some teams. They were trying to put their foot on our feet, their feet on our necks. They were really trying to take us out of that game. But luckily for us, it didn't work out that way, and we turned the tables on them quickly. And by then, it was too late for them to start to run the ball. That's what I saw. When we started to make our adjustments, they didn't have adjustments for it. They were still just trying to throw it.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't target Deshaun Jackson after that huge
Yeah.
that huge play.
Here's the thing about that, because I went back and looked at the all 22 a little bit. We ran a bunch of cover 2, and I've been talking about this for a month now.
Mm-hmm.
We changed to cover 2, and it's very hard to throw against us, especially with Donovan Wilson at free safety.
Yeah.
Now, the Deshaun Jackson touchdown, that came purely off of a breakdown where Jalen Hurts got out of the pocket, and some guys just stepped down a little bit more than they should have, and Deshaun ran right past them. That's why that happened. Other than that, once we were able to contain Hurts, the safeties stayed where they were supposed to stay, and the corner stayed, and that just changed the dynamic of the game.
Yeah.
But a beautiful play calling all around. And
It was.
And then you look at the type of routes they were running. Just they're playing off 7 yards. We're just gonna keep hitting them with this slant, or we're gonna hit them with this fade route. They're not jamming. We're gonna run crossing routes on them, find a mismatch. Just a great game plan altogether. I can't say enough about it, and I hope they continue this this week, because this matchup can be even better, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And anything else about the game stood out to you, Lambo?
They'll probably come to me in a minute, but
Yeah. I did notice we had a Reggie Robinson sighting on
that's what I was gonna say that earlier, and then I forgot about it. I mean, hey man, like usually Goodwin has a little bit more awareness than that. I think he could have picked that up, but in bounds. That was a good job punching that ball out by Robinson. And I remember I just got really excited when I seen that. I was just like, Reggie, there he is.
Right. First time touching the field all year in a game, and he makes an impact play like that.
Yeah.
Let's see him on defense, guys. Come on, coach.
Yeah,
And Jeff says Bernard has actually been playing the last 3 weeks. He's been playing really good.
Yeah, special teams, he's been showing up.
Yeah. In that game 2 weeks ago against the Niners, he made a couple of tackles before Goodwin, which I haven't seen anybody do all year. Because, Jeff, I talk about Goodwin all the time and how he's always the first one down the field. Now, Mendoza, that's the one thing I didn't like. I don't know if he should be wearing Newman's number, but
we could just call it Kareem Larry Moore's number.
Yeah. And I love the fact that we're letting these young guys get opportunities. We're going to talk about injuries coming up. So hopefully we finally get to see Reggie Robinson on defense. We may finally even get to see Francis Bernard on defense a little bit. But the rookies are encouraging right now, even in this little bit of time that they're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Craig, that's one of Dalton's strengths. He's always been good at getting the ball out quick. But the only problem is when he does that, he's throwing it to one guy all the time. It just worked out for us this time.
Yeah. And I don't know, Gabriel. See, the thing though is, in our division, they're also big rivals with the Giants, as they are with Washington as well. So I don't know, when you're playing a division rival. In my opinion, you're gonna want to beat them.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that they're gonna lay down and lose to one of the division rivals.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna try to win, because you got to think too. Jalen Hurts wants to hold that spot down. He don't want Wentz to get that job back, so he's gonna go out there trying to end on a good note. So so he can show the franchise, look, I'm the future of this team. It's not Wentz. We're gonna end on a high note, have a big victory here, and I'm gonna kind of solidify myself as the QB1. It's kind of what I'm thinking.
And this week 17, they already know they can't make the playoffs. So this game is the last impression that players can make on the front office and the coaching staff. So they're not going to go out there and tank, because if they play bad this week, that may be them being out of a job.
In a way, when you know you're mathematically already eliminated, it lets you play looser. And in a way, like, I feel like sometimes that can benefit a team, because you ain't got nothing to lose. So we'll see what happens. I know Alex Smith didn't practice today for Washington. I still feel like he's gonna end up playing though. Personally,
He
we'll
almost
see.
doesn't have a choice. They don't have other quarterbacks.
I hope he doesn't, but it looks like I think he will. But
yeah, and Gabriel, I understand what you're saying about that. That's something fans think about. The front office this time of year, they don't think about we're gonna get to move up 2 draft spots if we lose this game. These people have jobs on the line, and the difference between, what are they, 6? Are they 6 and 8 right now, or something like that?
5, I think.
5 and something,
Or 4 actually. I think the Eagles are 4.
I think they have more wins than that. I have to go back and look. But the difference between a win and a loss is huge right now.
They're 4-10.
Okay.
Giants are 5-10, and then us in Washington 6-9.
There's a big difference between 5-11 and 4-12. Doesn't sound like a lot, but in terms of jobs and stuff like that, yeah, it's a big deal. And plus, who wants to be sitting on the sidelines and watching the other team celebrate a championship on your field? I don't care how much you hate Dallas. You don't want to be an Eagles fan and you're walking out the field and you see the Redskins or the football team on the sideline pulling out their NFC East champion T-shirts on your field and jumping around and dancing. Nobody wants that. Pride is going to come into play on this
one. And I actually meant to say 4-10-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-10-1.
Now, if they were at Washington, I would say, you know what? Some of the guys may call this one a season. Not saying they'll purposely lose, but guys just like you know what? We got to go on the road. Let's just go through the motions, get over with, go into the offseason healthy. But if I'm playing at home and the other guys got T-shirts in the locker rooms and champagne waiting to come and celebrate at my house, no, that's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to ruin their day.
Exactly. Trying to cancel Christmas, as they say.
Yeah.
All right, Lambo. Well, if there's nothing else, we talked about that game. Our 3-game winning streak, trying to take it into 4. So week 16 is officially in the books. And now we're moving on to week 17, the last rivalry week of the season, where we take on the New York Giants. And we'll start off week 17 with a few storylines.
Storylines.
So there's a big storyline coming out of New York right now. And us as fans probably haven't been following it much. But Daniel Jones is dealing with some injuries. He's been playing the last 2 weeks. He's dealing with a right hamstring and a left ankle, and he's really been kind of making his name scrambling for big runs.
Yeah.
The past 2 weeks, he's only scrambled once. He's been completely neutralized to the being in the pocket. And in his last interview, he came out and said, "I got to be a pocket passer this week. I can't do it athletically." So that's going to be
And
huge for us.
he's a fast quarterback too. People don't
He's
realize how
sneaky
fast
fast.
he
Yeah.
is. That one run he broke, I think, was like the fastest of the entire week.
Yeah.
The one he fell on that one time.
Yeah.
I think he got like almost 22 miles an hour or something. He's fast, dude.
Yeah. But we don't have to worry about that now because he's dealing with all these injuries.
Yeah, that's good.
So that should bode really well for our defense because that's the only thing that's giving us trouble right now. We've pretty much been limiting the big plays with running backs, but those damn quarterbacks still been giving us problems. So that's one less thing we got to worry about. Cole, thank you for joining us. I see you snuck in on us.
Oh yeah, he came in a little earlier with
he did.
the Michael Gallup comment.
Yeah, I must have missed it. Sorry, Cole, but thank you for joining. And yeah, I don't think he can run this week, so that's going to be something big that we have to keep an eye on. Also, on our side of the ball, we got some injury news this week. It sounds like Zach Martin is officially active from the injured reserve, and he's going to be available. So, Lambo, 2 questions, and this is for you guys in the comments as well. First question, do you play him? The second question, if you do you play him at guard or tackle?
Oh, so
Okay, bro. Who is VDE? Let me know who that is. Sorry, Lambo, go ahead.
man, you know what? The fact that we play, I believe, the 1 o'clock game, and we don't get to find out what happens with Philly and Washington until that night.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta assume that you're playing for the playoffs, and I would play him because I mean, you just have to assume that Philly's gonna get it done. You can't think, well, maybe they won't, maybe they will. You know, you got to go in there thinking that's gonna happen. We got to just make sure we win this game, and he's a key player. If he's good to go, if they clear him, if they think he's good to go, he's not a high re-entry risk.
Yeah.
I say you got to go, but I feel like they would put him at right guard, but I feel like it wouldn't be the best place to put him right now. Obviously, I think right tackle is where he needs to be and leave McGovern at right guard for now. That would put the best 5 out there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I've been really torn on this one because I've been thinking about it for the past 2 days. At first, before I came on the show, I was thinking, you know what? This is just my opinion, and we'll get to this when it gets to game predictions. I think this one's going to be over early. So you put Zach Martin out there, you let him get some reps. We get up 2 scores, then you pull him and let him rest. But
yeah.
I want to see him just get out there. But then I think about it. If we make the playoffs with this season, I want all hands on deck. And I don't know if I'd really want to risk losing a guy who could bring a real competitive advantage in a game against a team like Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So I kind of shifted my thoughts. At first I was thinking play him until we get ahead and then pull him. Now I'm saying let's not play him at all. We can let him dress. If heaven forbid something happens and we need him, we put him out there. But if not, just let him sit on the sideline, get warmed up, and let the guys do what they do.
Or just go with the starting 5 that we've had the past week that looked good, and if there happens to be any big time struggles all of a sudden from Steele for whatever reason, and it's affecting the game negatively, then bring them in. But try to roll out there with what we got and see how they do.
Yeah, and my other thing is, the Giants don't have any world beaters at defensive end, outside linebacker. So I'm not really concerned about Jimenez or whoever the other outside linebacker is really doing damage against our tackles. I don't think they got a sack last time we played them from the end. I think the sacks came one from Leonard Williams, then a combination half sack with the other D tackles. So I don't think this is a game where we actually need to have him to say, you know what, we got to shut down the top defensive end. So I think we can get by. I think we can get by this game without him. But let's just have him on call just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about Colt McCoy. I think Daniel Jones is playing. This Colt McCoy changes teams so much within our division. I have no clue where he is right now, honestly. Does he play for the Giants? I thought he played for the.
I think he is the Giants' backup right now.
Okay.
I know he actually. I remember that as well. He played decent against us with Washington when he started.
Colt McCoy is a solid backup. Yeah, he does play for the Giants. But reports are coming out that Daniel Jones is practicing and he's gonna play. He's just gonna be limited athletically.
Yeah. So that's good. That's good right there.
And Cole brings up another point. You can also risk losing for the beginning of next season. If we make the playoffs, he has to play. So I'm not even taking that into consideration. But I can understand that for week 17. Because I think this one's going to be over early. Not a lot of storylines coming out right now. A couple of guys missed practice, but we'll talk about that on the pregame show this Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Time to let you know who's in and who's out for the game. So I don't really want to go into those just yet. And I still believe Daniel Jones is going to play. So hopefully we don't have to worry about Colt McCoy, Craig. I don't think I have any other storylines. It's been a pretty quiet week in terms of on-field stuff. On the Cowboy Zone, we don't like to do a lot of talking head or what if scenarios talk, especially during game weeks, because there's so much to talk about with these games. I don't have time to talk about should we keep all three receivers or should we trade Zeke.
Oh yeah, we'll have a lot of time to talk about that in the offseason.
That's off-season talk. We're in playoff mode right now. We win, we're in. We got a whole lot more important things to cover here at the Cowboy Zone.
Man, ain't that something that we could win the division at 7-9?
That's crazy to think that we can have a chance at the playoffs, considering how this season went.
There'll be a few teams that don't make the playoffs that are going to have some upset fans.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever, if we get in, or I mean, even if it was Washington at 7-9, or it's us at 7-9, there's going to be some teams with a better records than us sitting at home on the couch thinking, "Man, this is messed up."
and William Colt, I see the Kellen Moore thing. I think so too, but I don't really want to go into it. Kellen Moore is not making a decision until our season is over with. And the fact that Boise State hasn't made a decision yet when they're dead smack in the middle of recruiting season lets me know that they're waiting for their their coach to be available. So that's all I say on that one. After we're officially done, we can have that talk because I'm sure the day after we lose a game, Kellen Moore's going to make that announcement, and we'll talk about that the whole episode. But until then, I'm right there with you.
You know, if we get in, I feel like we can and have a good chance of beating Brady. Brady don't really scare me at this stage. What would scare me is going, when you go up against Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. I think I'd be a little more scared once we get to that point. If we get in,
I don't trust old quarterbacks in January. No. I've said that for the past 5 years. Drew Brees looks awful in the playoffs. Ben Roethlisberger looks awful leading up to the last weeks of the season. It's not just this year, guys. Go back and look at Big Ben in the last 4 years. He's looked awful in December. That's why they haven't made the playoffs in 4 years. Phillip Rivers completely falls off a cliff when it gets to December, January. These old quarterbacks, their arms will go fast in cold weather, late seasons. And we could see Brady fall off that cliff first round of the playoffs if we get them. something to be aware of. And you look at that team and see all the weapons. They got to be able to use them.
Yeah.
To me, they're still a defensive led team in Tampa. The offense puts up points against bad teams just like we do. When they play good teams, they struggle a lot. Go back and look at the scores. Go back and look at the tape. They struggle against decent teams. So just something to keep your eye on.
Yep.
I'm concerned about Green Bay as well, though. That's the only team that scares me.
Yeah, it scares me because they always break our heart.
Yeah. So if we were to win first round, we have to hope that one of the wild card teams pulls off an upset, so we can avoid them into the NFC Championship game. But again, we'll talk about that next Wednesday if we make the playoffs.
I know one thing. It's definitely a smart move by the NFL ratings wise for viewership to have that game between Washington and Philly that night because they know that they will get that. I mean, they wouldn't have probably half the views they would have got if they wouldn't have done that. But they know every single Cowboy fan across the nation is going to be tuning into that game.
Yep.
So, smart move by the NFL there. But it sucks that we got to wait around to find out.
That's true. All right, now, Bo, we're at a little over 30 minutes. And we're making good time, so we'll keep this ball rolling. So now we're going to talk about some of the key matchups that we have to worry about in this game against the Giants.
Key matchups.
All right, so first key matchup I want to talk about. We always kind of start with the running game first on no matter which team we play. So I want to talk about Zeke versus their linebacker core. The last time we played them, in my opinion, that was probably Zeke's best game of the year, other than last week. I believe Zeke had 91 yards rushing, 4.8 yards a carry, couple of catches. I went back and watched the game before we came on, and the underneath plays were wide open against them last time we played them. Wide open. And Blake Martinez is not good at coverage. He's a very good tackler.
Yeah.
The only reason we went away from the short passes is because that was the game where Dak threw it high on Zeke and Zeke tipped it and the guy ran it back for a touchdown. Other than that, before that, they could just 3 yards to Zeke, 4 yards to Zeke, 7 yards to Zeke. None. I see more of the same this week.
You know what? It's kind of mind-blowing, but if you take a look at Zeke's rushing touchdowns this season, the last time he's had a rushing touchdown was against the Giants in week 5.
5, right. He had 2 that game, right?
He had 2. That was the only time he had more than 1 in a game.
That's why I said that was his second best game.
Yeah, first 3 weeks of the season, he had 1 touchdown each. And then week 4, none. Week 5, he had 2 rushing touchdowns against the Giants. And he has not had a rushing touchdown since week 5.
Yeah.
So it's hopefully he gets 2 this game.
Yeah. And maybe we'll have Zach Martin back. And somebody made the comment earlier, Dennis Rivera. If Martin plays, it opens up more holes for Zeke. Something we'll definitely need this week. Ride him out and close this thing out. So I'm looking forward to seeing this matchup. And we'll definitely have Zeke at 100 yards for over-under on Sunday. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And I see you guys are making some great comments. Let's keep them coming about the different key matchups. Gabriel actually hit on my next one. This is Evan Ingram versus our linebackers. Evan Ingram, the undeserved Pro Bowler, as I like to call him, because Dalton Schultz had better stats than him to me.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz is
Dalton
had
Schultz
a better
had
year.
better stats.
Yeah.
And Evan Ingram gets the Pro Bowl nod. But he's 6'5", he runs a 4.4, super athletic. We normally struggle against these types of guys. And we'll just see. What do you think about Ingram this week? He got a touchdown on us last time we played, but it was on a reverse. I don't think he had a lot of receiving yards against us. So, Lambo, what do you think about this week, Evan Ingram?
It does scare me, but I mean, was LV out the last time we played him? Played them in week
If
5.
it was week 5, yes, he was out.
You know, he only had 2 targets that game.
Yeah.
1 catch for 16 yards, but he's still the kind of guy that can just go off at any moment on you. It does worry me a little bit. We kind of lacking pass coverage in the linebacking core right now, which is still why I would wish we could see a little bit of Francis Bernard and see what he's got. But I don't think he's gonna have a huge game. Honestly, he hasn't had really any huge games this season other than week 12 against Cincy. He had 6 catches for 129.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been pretty average for the rest of the season. But I don't know, man. I could see that being the favorite target of Jones, though.
Yeah.
I really could. It'll be interesting.
So, with that being said, we'll take it to the next key matchup. And you talked about Evan Ingram only had 1 catch. That's because Darius Slayton was destroying us that game. If I'm not mistaken, he had 8 catches for 120 some yards and a touchdown that game. So he was putting in work against us, and he didn't have to go anywhere else to throw the ball.
Yeah, 8 catches for 129 yards.
I don't know if 8 catches, 100 and something, and a touchdown, right?
No touchdown.
I thought he had a touchdown that game.
But he did dominate for sure.
But yeah,
that's his biggest game of the year. Actually, Slayton's biggest game of the year.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, if I'm not mistaken, we'll talk about this on Sunday. Dennis, you just beat me there. I think this is going to be the first week in probably 5 weeks that all 3 receivers and the tight end will be healthy. I know all 3 in the tight end for sure, but I believe this will be one of the first times in like 4 weeks all 3 receivers are healthy. Yeah. Golden Tate didn't practice this week, but I think he is expected to play. So
yeah, it looks like he's managing the calf injury a little bit.
Yeah, he missed last week. But yeah, be sure to tune in this Sunday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for the Cowboys pregame show, Cowboys Zone pregame show. Yeah. And we'll let you know the injury report.
And now he's not having a great year at all, honestly. But if we know the past, we've seen the past with Golden Tate and the Cowboys. He's been a Cowboy killer at times in his career.
Certain players are cranking up against the Cowboys, and he's one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, so that one concerns me, but our secondary has been looking a lot better now that we've started running more cover too. We didn't have all 3 of our corners the last time we played them. I know that definitely. So this will be our 3 corners against their three receivers. So it should be an interesting matchup.
I will go on the record as saying Slayton will not do that again.
Okay.
Not this week. And I will say Slayton will have under 40 yards receiving.
All right. You heard it here first. Under 40 yards. So our corners to shut them down. And a great question by Craig. Well, I'll get Gabriel first as I clicked on that one. Who will cover Tate? Tate. It will probably be a Woozier. Because Tate goes. Whenever all 3 play, Slayton is normally the X receiver. So he's the one that's up on the line. And that normally puts him on the side where Diggs is at. And then Shepard and Tate kind of switch between slot and Z. So he'll be seeing a lot of Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis, and Awuzie.
And Awuzie is at the end of his rookie deal. I just feel like it's the right time for him to have a big game.
Yeah.
It seems like that happens. That happens a lot. I feel like people just have a dominant end of a season when they know they got a contract coming up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I think Awuzie is gonna have a pretty good game.
Yeah. Now this is a great question, Craig, and it's one I like to talk about all the time. Do we think Jason Garrett being familiar with Dallas will be a factor? I'll say yes from this perspective. It doesn't help Jason Garrett because he's not familiar with our coaching staff. He's not familiar with CD Lamb, the offensive line the way it is right now. And the defense is a completely different look than when he was here. I mean, if you look at it, Randy Gregory wasn't there, Alden Smith, Neville Gallimore, Trayvon Diggs. Half of our starters weren't there when he was there last year. And we run a completely different scheme. So it doesn't help him. The way it will be a factor is our defense, the guys who are there, they know his offense backwards and forwards. And the offense knows his offense backwards and forwards. So they can just call in they can call in Kellen Moore, go to the defensive room for a day for 30 minutes. This is what Jason Garrett likes to do. This is what he told me in the 5 years I played here, and the 1 year I was the quarterback coach, and the 1 year I was the OC. This is what he likes. This is what you look for. We can scheme for him perfectly because we know him backwards and forwards. He can't do the same for us.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Colonel Bill, thanks for joining.
Bye. I agree. We're winning.
Yeah. And we're about to get to that pretty soon. Our game predictions. We're at 42 minutes. I got a couple more key matchups I want to go over before we get out of here. And Mendoza hit on one. I always like to look at the rookie versus rookie matchups. And we got Darnay Holmes, which was one of my favorite slot corners out of UCLA because I watch a lot of UCLA football, going against CD Lamb. And just in general, their secondary versus our receivers is going to be very interesting. And Dennis Rivera kind of backed that up. I said this if you guys were here when we did our show during the offseason, where we had guys from the Redskins, the football team, the Eagles, and the Giants. We went position by position and ranked them. Mm-hmm. I was actually the only person who had the Giants as the best secondary in our division. And I'm still sticking with that. I just love their secondary. I love the players they have. You look at James Bradbury, which in the offseason, Lambo, you put them last because you were just stuck on James Burnt Toast Bradbury.
Yeah, I remember that. I got Burnt Toast Bradbury stuck in my head.
Yeah, but he made the Pro Bowl this year. He's had an amazing year.
He turned it around. He's not the same Bradbury.
Yeah.
Berry.
Yeah, so he's been playing well, and he actually shadows a lot. So he's going to be following Coop. And if I go back and look at the last time we played them, Coop had one catch for 16 yards. And I know for a fact Bradbury shadowed him. So I don't know if that was Bradbury shut him down or they weren't looking his way. Because Gallup did have a great game the last time we played. I believe Lamb had that great game.
8 catches, 124 yards.
Yeah.
For Lamb. And if he does that again, he's getting that rookie record.
Yep. So it's close. So yeah, talking about their secondary, Darnay Holmes in the slot, I like him. They got Xavier McKinney back, and I know you really like him, Lambo.
Yeah, he was one of the guys I really liked in the draft.
Yeah.
At the time, because I didn't think Lamb would be there.
Right.
He was one of the guys I really liked. I didn't know he was going to be back until you just said that.
He played. I think he's played the last 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
He's at least played 1 week this year. It may have been 2, but he's not starting. Logan Ryan, who they just signed to a big deal, is their starting free safety. So they're loaded at safety, and it used to be a position of weakness with McKinney, Ryan, and Peppers.
Yeah, Jabril Peppers.
Yeah. And then they still have Julian Love, who's been kind of put to a backup role. I think they're going to play him a little bit more corner this week.
Julian Love. I didn't know they had. Did he play Notre Dame?
He played in Notre Dame, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the Julian. Wow.
Yeah. So they got some guys in the secondary. So it's going to be interesting to see how they match up with us. This won't be like last week. I saw Mendoza put a comment about Yadam, who is, I believe, the Giants' other corner.
Yadam.
So if they follow last week's recipe, going for the weakest link, I think that's who it is. So that's something for you guys to take a look at. And thank you for pointing out Mendoza, because I knew I couldn't remember his name at all. So I appreciate you being on top of that. But yeah, we normally do this over under Lambo, but since we're talking about it, who do you think is going to be the receiver to produce for us this week? You think Gallup gets a repeat performance? You think it's Lamb?
I think Lamb has another big game like he did in Week 5.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna go over 120, but man, I think he gets a little over 100.
Okay. But guys, definitely something to pay attention to as we go into this Sunday's game in that corner. Bradbury is following Coop wherever he goes. So you can watch that one too. Well, pay attention to the number 2 and number 3 guys, because that's where the action is going to take place at. And
Yeah,
I'm actually looking forward to seeing McKinney play, because I was big on him just like you were, Lambo.
yeah.
Looking forward to seeing him on the field.
I had hopes of seeing our trio receivers all go over 1,000 apiece. And had Dak played this whole season, without a doubt, I think it would have happened.
Yep.
But we have a chance to get 2 over. Lamb's only 108 away. So I think Lamb has a big game, and him and Coop will both be over that 1,000-yard. Coop already is, but Gallup, I think, would need like 200 or something. So he ain't going to get there. But
hey, he had 155 last week, Lambo.
yeah.
They never.
Up it a little bit. That'd be wild. If we could get Gallup 200 and CD 108. That's 308 for Andy right there. Yeah. Hey Bobby,
he had 370 last week.
Cowboy Dale's predictions coming up here soon. Just let you know. I've seen you pop in here, so I thought I'd let you know. So you stick around, man.
Came right on time. Yeah, Michael Gallup needs 206 yards to get 1,000.
Yeah, 206. Ooh, that's a big game. That's like one of them Julio blow up games.
Yeah. Hey, he had 155 last week. I'm just going with that.
Yep.
And in that game he had 155. Didn't Lamb still get like 90 something?
Lamb, I think he got I thought it was 3 catches for 60 something. Let me see. 3 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown, but he also had a rushing touchdown as well.
Jeff, I don't know if I think we're gonna keep bold predictions with the Sunday show. So I think we're just gonna do game predictions today. But we're at 48 minutes, and I only have one more key matchup to pay attention to, and that is our defensive line versus their offensive line, which is, looking at this one, I'm really excited about this one this week. Our defensive line has really stepped up with them playing Randy Gregory more. The last time we played them, we had 3 sacks, including one was a strip sack fumble by D-Law that was taken back for a touchdown. So, and this was week 5. We weren't nearly where we are right now. And we had
Andrew Thomas still playing?
Andrew Thomas is still playing. Exactly. Yeah. Gregory has 3. He's on fire. So Andrew Thomas is playing at left tackle.
They got to open up the checkbook for Gregory. We gotta get something done.
We could talk about that in the offseason.
Yeah, that's offseason, but I
don't think they have to open it, but they do have to sign them.
Yeah, we gotta get. I just want to get them locked up a little bit, at least for a few years.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of leverage. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, true.
The same with Alden Smith, but again, that's off-season talk.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of them really have a lot of leverage to get big paydays, but they both need to definitely be signed back. So they got Anthony Thomas at left tackle, Cam Fleming at right tackle. We all know and love him. Actually, he was the one that gave up that big sack to D-Law. That was the strip sack. And then you look at it on the inside. Something I didn't notice until I went back and really looked at the Giants. Will Hernandez got his spot taken. the big physical dirty left guard that they drafted a couple years ago that we all wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Will Hernandez got a spot taken by a 5th round pick this year. And I looked up Pro Football Focus. That left guard that replaced him is ranked as the worst left guard in football. He started 7 games. He's given up 5 sacks.
And he's still ahead of him.
And he's still ahead of Will Hernandez. Will Hernandez, before he lost his spot, was ranked 5th worst. 5th worst. So it's not like it was a major drop off.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel
come a long way.
I just feel lucky that we've managed to hold a solid O-line together despite all the injuries. Philbin's just been.
It could definitely be a lot worse, guys. And you're going to see that this week against the Giants. Their offensive line is not good.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing, has Gallimore gotten a sack this year? I know he's gotten a half sack. I don't know if he's gotten a sack. Because if he hasn't, this is the week to do it. Because that left guard is giving him out like candy on Halloween.
From what I'm seeing, he had a half sack.
I remember the half sack.
But that was it.
Okay, so yeah. So I'm looking for him to get that sack this week if this guard is as awful as they make him sound. Because I didn't see anything that said this guy should be a player in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
But he is. And the quarterback is not mobile. They're giving up sacks left and right. I think every lineman on the team is giving up 5 sacks this year. That's how bad it is. And that's not a good combination when you're considering the quarterback's not mobile. All their guys are just giving up sacks like that.
I feel like we're going to cause some havoc in the back there for Daniel Jones.
So yeah, I got to set the over-under number high this Sunday for sacks.
Yeah, because Eli Face 2.0 is on its way.
I think I may set the over-under at 4.5. I don't know if that's too high or not. I'll go back and look.
Do it. I got 6 sacks. Over.
Already calling it. All right, so Lambo, we're at 53 minutes. I think those are all the key matchups I got. Thank you guys for the comments. You guys have been great. Been making so many good comments. I haven't been able to keep track of them. So we appreciate that for our last show of the regular season.
Ooh, 7.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not against any number you guys put up when I look at how bad the Giants offense and their offensive line looks. And the fact that their quarterback can't scramble. So no number's too high for me right now. But before I do that, I need to go back and watch the all 22 or the condensed game for the last 2 weeks for the Giants, and then I'll come back with that. Marlo, thank you for joining us. You came in just in time. We're about to hit the last segment of the show, which is our game predictions, and we'll start off with our Superfan Cowboy Dale as he gives us his game prediction for this week. So, guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you like and make sure you share. Share it to your personal page, share it to your favorite page, because this is something everybody's going to want to see. I haven't even seen it yet, so I'm interested to see what Cowboy Dale has in store for us. So, without further ado, we will go on to our game predictions. So, Lambo, do you want to do our predictions first or do the Cowboy Dale?
Dale.
Okay. All right. So we'll go to our game predictions.
Game prediction.
And I know you guys are going to be all into the video, but while you do that, be sure to leave your game predictions in the comments so I can kind of get ahead of them and write them down, because normally I'm kind of behind on that. So while this video plays, make sure you put your game predictions in the comments so that I can take a note of them. All right, so now here we go with Superfan Cowboy Dale with his game prediction.
me tell you what, man. Wake up, man. Ow! Cowboys Nation. Let me tell you what, man. If you don't think we're winning this game, you make about as much sense as titties on a bull, man. You're going to be grinning like a possum after this one, man, because we're going to beat them, the Giants, 38-17, man. Look, Zeke's going to get over 1,000 yards. Look, CeeDee Lamb's going to get 108 plus because he's breaking 1,000 yards in his rookie year. Yeah. And the defense is going to have another great game. We're going to cause 3 turnovers. And we are going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win, man. Hey, we're going to win, man. Hey, we're going to win this game. And you know what else? Philly's going to beat Washington, man. And I don't care who the quarterback is for Washington. I don't care if it's freaking Joe Theismann, man. We're going to the playoffs. Andy Dalton is going to be our version of Nick Foles, man. Woo! Dallas Cowboys, let's stand up and make it happen. This is Cowboy Dale from Cowboys Y'all. Think positive. Let's get this W, y'all. Hey, I'm out, man. Ow! That's how Cowboy Dale does it. I don't care.
All right. And there you have it with Cowboy Dale with this game prediction of 38-17. Hey, that cup look familiar, Lambo. You and Cowboy Dale go get your coffee from the same place.
It's background too.
Yeah.
Same breaks.
All right, so Lambo, have you thought about yours or you want me to go first?
Yeah. I am going to say 34-17. 34-17 in convincing fashion.
Okay.
You met him back at Tallwood High School tomorrow. In Brandon Middle.
Hey, so any reason you got 34-17?
I don't know. Just a gut thing.
Good feeling.
Just had to undercut Cowboy Dale by a few points.
Gotcha. I see we got a lot of high scores this week. Only one person picked in the 20s. Everybody else is 30 and up. So for me, I've been kind of hitting around to this all show. I think we're going to just wipe the floor with them. I don't expect it to be close at all. I think we're going to get up early and they're going to get some garbage points. So I'm putting the score at 43-24. I really feel like our offense is clicking. I just don't see them being able to run the ball on us. They have a bunch of slot receivers, which bodes well for this zone scheme we've been running. And our defensive line has been getting to the house a lot, so he won't have a lot of time for them to get into their zones. I think you said, Lambo, we're going to have 3 turnovers, or was that Cowboy Dale?
Cowboy Dale, but I agree.
Cowboy Dale said, I think we're going to have at least 3 turnovers. I'm saying at least. I think we could see another strip sack fumble because Daniel Jones gives those out often. I can see a couple of interceptions. I don't think they're going to be able to stop us offensively. I think we get up 20 points on this one quick, and then we set it to cruise control.
That's the thing that I just so all right, I got to keep thinking positive, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that I had this fear that we were going to dominate them.
Yeah.
Look so good and then have Philly break our hearts by not getting the job done, and we sit there thinking, dang, this team could have maybe did some damage. And I really hope that's not the case. Man,
I hope that's not the case too.
I'm gonna be after we beat the mess out of the Giants, I'm gonna be so anxious all day long. Like, Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Whew. It's gonna be a long day after that victory,
Yep.
waiting on the final score of the Philly game.
All right. So since you brought that up, let's go ahead and do this game prediction. Game prediction for the Eagles and the football team. Gut feeling. What do you think that score is going to be?
2017 Philly.
Let me look it up
2017,
and see what
yeah.
the score was the last time they played.
I'll say 2017 Philly. I feel like it's going to be a close game,
The last time they played was in September. A lot has changed since then.
and they're in
And
Philly, right?
the
So,
football team won 27-17. But of course, Carson Wentz played that game and he had 4 turnovers. I
yeah.
don't think Terry McLaurin's going to play for them this week.
That's true. That hurts.
Yeah.
That
I
definitely
mean,
hurts.
no matter how bad Jaquette looks, he can't be as worse as whoever their number 4 receiver is. So, yeah, I'm just going through right now. Carson Wentz gave up a couple turnovers, like I just said. Dallas Goedert had a great game. Yeah, they ran the ball pretty well. So hopefully Fletcher Cox comes back this week for them. So I'm looking forward to that one. I think if Fletcher Cox plays, they run off with this one.
Yeah, Fletcher Cox is a difference maker. So Alex Smith playing through a calf injury with Fletcher Cox in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not going to be an easy task. With McLaurin out, your best receiver, on top of that,
I agree.
it's all kind of aligning for us here. We just gotta. I feel like we just need to get the job done, and we have a really good shot at this thing.
And the last time they played, Peyton Barber had 2 rushing touchdowns. I don't think that's going to happen again.
Yeah, that's definitely not gonna happen.
Yeah. The only weapon they have I'm concerned about is J.D. McKissick. And if I know Shane says if Alex Smith plays, he takes the football team. I don't think he makes them a better team this week, especially not if McLaurin doesn't play. But that's me with wishful thinking. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one just as much as this game that we have against the Giants this week. But we got some good football games with a lot of playoff implications for the Cowboys in the NFC East division. All right, so Lambo, we're at over an hour. I think that's pretty much all we got for this week. So I think I got everybody's score. I see Dennis changed his score. Oh, that was for the Eagles Redskins. No, he didn't. All right, so I got everybody's score. So thank you guys for joining us again. As always, we appreciate the support. We appreciate the comments.
Mm-hmm.
We really are glad you guys came to watch us because, again, I know there were 4 other podcasts that were on at the same time as us, and you guys still came in and tuned in to the Cowboy Zone, so we are greatly appreciative of that. And we've been talking the last couple of weeks about after the season's over changing. So I think Lambo and I have decided that next week we're going back to our original time, which was Thursday nights at 7:30 Central Standard Time. So, guys, I hope you haven't gotten too used to us being on Wednesday nights because we're going back to where we started.
Yeah, and I'm excited to get back to Thursdays, and especially with my work schedule too, being an hour earlier for the show is going to be good, and it'll kind of get us out of that jumble of so many shows on at once on Wednesdays evenings. So
yeah, you know, a couple of weeks ago we were the only show on Wednesdays. I don't know why everybody's changing to Wednesday.
And then everything ended up Wednesday. Seems like. So
and I think Thursday the only show I know of is Late Night Hype, but they come on at like 9:30.
Yeah, so it's right after ours ends usually.
Yeah, and Zeke's Take maybe moving to Thursday, but I'm not sure. But yeah, we're going back to Thursdays at 7:30. So that gives us a little bit more time if we go over. So we can probably start taking more phone calls, getting more fan involvement.
And if y'all like George Teague, we've been talking a lot with George lately, and he's definitely wanting to come on quite often, throughout this off season. So we'll definitely be bringing him on quite a few more times to talk some Cowboys football with everybody.
Yeah, just to give you guys a heads up on that one, we're definitely gonna have him in when we start talking draft because he's an Alabama alum and he knows all the players personally. He stands on the sideline for home games. He's gonna be on the sideline at the national championship game. He already told me that. So he's gonna come on during the offseason to break down all the Alabama players. And if we're able, if we can do a little college national championship talk, we're going to have him come in for a few minutes to talk about that. So George Teague is definitely going to be involved with the show. Once we get into the offseason, we're going to have a lot more guests coming in, a lot more fan participation.
Yeah, it'll be good to hear him talk about those Alabama players when we start getting to the draft talk stuff because, there'll be a few of those guys that could be potential targets.
Right. And he's honest about it too, guys. He's not a homer. He's going to tell us who he likes and who he doesn't like and why.
Yeah. And he's a head coach now for a lot that don't know.
Yeah.
So.
And the athletic director.
Yeah.
So he's still involved in football. When the season officially ends, I'll give you guys a head up on this one as well for whoever's left. If you guys were here with us in the off season, we did an episode where we had podcasters from all three of the other things. We're going to do that again, but this time we're going to have them on one at a time. So if you guys are as big of football fans as we are, and you want to hear about what our rivals think about their team and what their expectations are and how they compare against us, be sure to tune in for those. We don't pick Homer guys. We pick podcasters from the football team, the Eagles, and the Giants who are actually they're actually knowledgeable fans, and they can give us their unbiased opinion on their team and ours.
Yeah, especially that is it Justin Penix?
Justin from the Giants, yeah.
Yeah, he is like the Giants version of daggone Kyle Yeomans.
Yeah.
What Kyle Yeomans is to us, he's like the Giants version of that, pretty much.
I don't think we'll be able to get him now, honestly, but we'll try. But Philly Madness is already confirmed.
Yeah.
And Ryan Cogley from the football team, he's confirmed.
Yeah. From Nuts and Bolts.
Yeah, Nuts and Bolts Sports. So if we don't get Justin, we'll get somebody else from the Giants. But we're looking forward to that too. So until then, let's hope for a great game this Sunday.
Let's got this.
Yeah, let's get you guys to tune back in this Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time for the Cowboys Zone pregame show. We'll be doing our over-under game predictions again, bowl predictions, and we'll hit you with all the news and notes related to the injury report. So, Lambo, hit them with that social media, where they can find you at.
As always, y'all, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Patreon at Cowboys Y'all. You can find me on Instagram at Cowboys Y'all 88. But most importantly, please just subscribe on the YouTube. If you do anything else, just the YouTube, subscribe, and hit that bell. That greatly helps, and I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much, y'all.
All right, guys, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Bluff City Cowboys. You can find me on Twitter at Bluff Cowboys, and you can also find me on YouTube at Bluff City Cowboys. Make sure you guys go and subscribe. Also, make sure you hit that bell for notifications, because as the offseason gets in, I'm a big draft guy, big college guy, so I'm going to be giving you guys a lot of player evaluations, mock drafts, big boards, things of that nature. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, and just like on the Cowboy Zone, I'm going to be very interactive with the fans. So that's it for this week's episode. We'll see you guys this Sunday. Lambo, any closing words for us?
Hey, everybody have a happy new year. Stay safe out there.
All right, and happy new year to you and your family too, Lambo.
Thanks, man.